Hello world! One of the most consistent pieces of advice on how best to improve as a producer is to analyze other tracks. But what exactly does that involve? In this video, I'll show you a basic framework with simple steps you can follow so that you can analyze and learn from your favorite tracks. Let's get started. One. Import the track into your DAW. If you already have the file, then simply drag it in. Otherwise, you can use a program like Loopback for Mac or Voice Meter Banana for Windows.
Have a banana.
To stream audio directly into your DAW. I use Soundflower as it's free and easy. Simply set the DAW input and the computer audio output to the same Soundflower channel and you're all set. Two. Aligning the track to the grid. The next step is to match the session BPM to the track you're analyzing. A simple way to do this is to temporarily place the start marker on the first clear downbeat of a section, for example the chorus or drop. Then, with the track warped, simply adjust the clip BPM until the other downbeats line up. Oh, not quite. There we go. So now we know the BPM of the track, we can remove the warp to get back the original timing and set the session BPM to the same value. Align the downbeat to one of the major grid lines and stretch out the remainder of the track from there. 3. Horizontal arrangement. Now, play through the track and chop the clip or place a marker at any point where there is a clear transition to a new section. Label these as you go and keep an ear out for any sections that are similar or even just straight up copy and paste of a previous section. You'll be surprised by how often that happens. Here's a list of some of the labels you could use. Taking it a step further by coloring each section gives you a nice overview of the arrangement. 4. Vertical arrangement. Next, let's study the instrumentation. Using a blank MIDI track for each instrument, play through the song and create a MIDI clip wherever that instrument appears. In Ableton, you can do this by highlighting a section and using the shortcut Command Shift and M on Mac, or Control Shift and M on Windows. Do this across the entire track, and you'll gain a real insight into how the artist adds and removes different elements to keep the track progressing. 5. Transcribing. Although this isn't a video on music theory, analysing the harmonies and melodies can really teach you a lot about the tracks you love. I'll provide a basic framework here, and if you want to dive even deeper, I've posted links to some of the resources I've learned from in the description below. So when you hear a chord, the most prominent note you hear is usually the one with the highest pitch, so I'd recommend starting with that. Place your first guess on the piano roll and move it up and down until it matches that note. Next, move to the bass notes. Since our ears are less sensitive to low frequencies, identifying bass pitch can be difficult, so if you get stuck, there's no shame in using a spectrum analyzer to help you out. This is often made easier by the fact that there's usually not much else happening down at these lower frequencies. As for the remaining notes in between, well, these can be a little trickier, but just do what you can. Each time you have a go at analysing a new track, it'll get easier and easier. One trick that's always worth trying is to copy the bass notes and move them up 7 semitones, giving the commonly used perfect fifth interval. In this case, I'm in luck. The chords now match, and the basic chord progression is complete. Let's go through these steps once more, and I'll let you listen along this time. So, just as before, I start by placing the top notes. Next, I add the bass notes with the help of the spectrum analyzer. And to finish off, I try adding in the perfect fifth, 7 semitones above the bass. Once again, it works a treat. 6. Explore. From here, you're in a great position to go on exploring whatever else excites you about the track. It could be recreating the drum patterns, examining music theory, sound design, or listening to how each instrument sits in the mix. Really, anything that you want to learn from the song. 7. Summarise. As tedious as it might be, take just a couple of minutes before closing the session to write down the main learning points. This helps to cement what you've learned. Take snapshots, make notes, and draw conclusions. And before long, you'll have your very own collection of tips specific to your taste to browse through whenever you're feeling stuck for inspiration or ideas. 8. Steal like an artist. After going through this process, you're left with a bunch of things you can directly use in your own music. Save chord progressions and drum patterns as MIDI files. Save synth patches and effect tracks for any sounds you've tried to recreate. And finally, take the arrangement itself. By deleting all audio, synths, and MIDI notes, you're left with an already proven song template. When you next go to start a new song from scratch, a template like this to fill in and guide you makes the process much less daunting than starting from a completely blank project. And there you have it. So next time that you're not quite in the right frame of mind to write a new track, try analysing one of your favourite tracks instead. You can pull up this video alongside your session to guide you through the process. In this way, you'll still be developing as a producer, even when you're not feeling inspired to work on your own music. Click.